Give me 1 second. All right, let's make a mess. All right. Ugh. Hey guys, welcome in. Hey guys, welcome in. We're working on drop spindles today. We're turning hard maple shafts. I had to come back to the shop. I had some 3D printer problems, so. I figured since I'm stuck here, I might as well make a couple shafts. And we're just burning in some decorative lines. I hope everybody had a pleasant weekend. So I woke up this morning and I walked to work. Hey, how's it going, Kay? Got a little bit of work done. Got home by noon. And then we spent the rest of today watching all 3 Deadpool movies. So can't really complain. Oh, I'm doing good. Took most of today off. All right, so there's an 8-inch shaft. This is a cutout, so this is cherry. Got some audio going on, let me kill that. All right. So I do have my headphones in right now. But YouTube doesn't let me share music, so. I'll try my best not to sing. We'll put it that way. Nobody needs that. Alright, so we get that cord out of the way. try this view for a while. Maybe I'll put it on the side in a little bit. Alright, so the hard maple dowels that I buy oversized. So I can true them up. Got a lot of vibration in this one because I didn't bring my tailstock in, so unfortunately this one's not going to work out. I know I should have stopped, but yeah, what can you do? So I'm using a roughing gouge to get me into the ballpark, so you can see it's very U-shaped. And I'm going to be changing to a spindle gouge, which is much flatter. So it's not as aggressive, but it leaves a better finish. That one's running much better. So this is a story stick. It just has the marks of where things happen. So I have this test whirl that I put on. When it locks in place, I put the story stick on. I made this cutout so I could register it against there. That way when you buy a spindle, they'll always be in the same place. So if you have to get a replacement shaft, it's gonna feel the same. Alright, we're going to burn in some decorative lines. This is just some picture frame hanging wire. A lot of people use guitar strings. I use this because I have a lot of it. So the wire, this stuff does break. So I start out with long pieces, and when they break, I just keep shortening them. We're just about to the end of this one. Alright, we're going to turn the speed back up and we're going to burnish. Come up here and then put some wax on. Feel like Mr. Miyagi. So same sanding, medium grit, fine grit. Burnish, a little bit of wax, and we're done. So I'll cut it off on the bottom. So as far as centering goes, I eyeball it to get it into the center. Now, when I start it up, the live center isn't going to be in the wood. I'm going to let it run. There's a little bit of vibration there, which is fine. And then I will engage that. So I'm more concerned about it being the overall shaft being straight and not just on the very end here. If there's a slight bow in this, if you just went to the center, it wouldn't be straight at all. So that's the thought behind that. So I'm using a wrench as a caliper, or a spanner if you're in the UK. So if the wrench will slide over the wood, we know we're on side. Now I do have marks on my tool rest here, and that just equates to my story stick. So I'm trying to make an 8-inch shaft, so I'm going to be using this black line here. That's where my taper is going to end. We'll go to the top. So I'll just kind of bring it in. Got some pencil shavings there. So I'm doing a lot of supporting with my hands because these are so thin that if I didn't support it, they would just be all full of chatter because it'd be vibrating. Yeah, you can see. Thank you so much for the heart. So this is a beading tool. It's actually V-shaped. I'm going to come in with my skew and mark the top of the finial. And I'm defining the diameter under the finial. Then I'll come back with my gouge and just blend those two lines together. So this shaft here is a series of tapers. Burn our line in. Alright, we're going to add some wax. So now we did everything we could while being between centers. So we're clamped in with the 4-jaw chuck over here, and then we have a live center, so we got a pin sticking in there that's spinning. So I'm going to form the finial. And it's still being supported by the chuck. Then we'll burnish. Little wax. Now I'll see if that just feels unnatural. See if we can get my hand out of the way. F-holes in it. actually, hang on a second. Let's check out the printers. See how they're printing. I could walk over, but then you couldn't see what was going on. Alright, so we got the first layer going down here. Now it's more like the second layer. Looks good. Putting down the first couple layers as well, and that looks fine. They're literally like 30 feet to my left. Alright. So the majority of the shafts I make are hard maple. It's just the right balance of strength, rigidity, and it's got very small pores. So you don't see the pores. Like if I would turn oak or ash, you'd see lines all over it, and you would feel it too. Hickory has the same problem. Hickory would be the perfect wood, but it's so porous. I'll do exotic woods on occasion. I don't do a lot of walnut. I'll do short ones, like 4 to 6 inches out of walnut, that's fine. I won't do anything bigger because walnut has a nasty habit of warping. You know, on occasion I'll do purple heart or ebony or cocoa bolo, or as long as it's a harder wood. So when I sand in between here, it's really just to sand this portion right here. But I feel like I'm in the neighborhood, so I just sand the whole thing, even though I'm going to still be machining it. Okay, it's too short for an 8. We'll make it into a 7. So this diameter shaft I make 4 1/4, 6, 7, and 8. And then I do make a larger one for plying spindles, which is a 10-inch long, but instead of having a 1/4 inch hole diameter, it's got a 3/8 inch hole. So if you're new to the stream, my name is Scott. I make stuff. I've been making these professionally for the last 11 years. My channel, right now we're kind of doing scroll saw stuff. I've taken a couple months off. We've been really super busy. I have to come back in. My next video is probably going to be an 8-month review of the Bauer scroll saw. I just have to sit down and write something up for it. I mean, I haven't had any issues, but, you know, if I was to design it, I'd change a couple things. It's probably good I don't design things. So this is a different shape. This is my glider, and this is a medium, so it's smaller. You can see really see the size difference, but they are smaller. Yep, so, oh, that one's very warped. You see how warped that is? That's no good. Yeah. Well, we could try it for shits and giggles. If it has enough to... If I got enough meat to put in that pin. Let's see. Oh, that's not so bad. So because I waited to put the pin in until after it was spinning, it found its overall center, just not the center on the end. So let's back this out and look. Looks good. So if it was much worse than that, I would set it aside and then I would roll it on a table and see what area was not, which was bent. And then I could cut it down and make something shorter out of it. But we lucked out on this one. So I cut out a whole bunch of arms today. So, hey, how's it going? Hello, Lawrence. How's it going? Welcome in. So, yeah, I really wasn't planning on streaming. I was at home. We just got done watching all the Deadpool movies, and then I saw on my phone that one of my printers messed up. So I came here to fix the printer. And I'm like, if I'm going to sit here for an hour to make sure the print's going to hopefully work, I might as well get something done. So. Hey, Dan, how's it going? So we're turning hard maple. Yeah, this one is pretty bent too. That one looks like it's right here. So I don't know if we're going to be able to get away with this one, but we'll try. So if I would just mark the center and push it in there, it would be very not centered. So we're going to back that out and let it spin. So let's see. We made some writing pens for someone. And you're going to try to make some more crochet hooks. And you got 2 Yelper turkey calls to make. Awesome. Yeah, I haven't made crochet hooks for years. I didn't mind making them. It's just, I got too busy with these. Yeah, so I got a small wholesale order to finish up, hopefully in the beginning of the week. They ordered 15 Scottish spindles on me. Looking around, see, I don't think I have any back here. Which look like this. So these I start with 8 1/4-inch hard maple. Then I cut it down into a square stock. Then I cut it into stop sign shaped. It's not coming to me. And then I drill in the notch holes right away. So these make a huge mess. About half the material is going to end up on the floor. Hopefully some of it will go in the chute. And then I think I've got like 15 of these to make. That one's got a ton of vibration all the way down, so I will burn that in the winter in our fireplace. I knew the last couple were iffy. So I have another one of these lathes that I blew out the controller board on them. So I'm thinking if I replace that board, I could set up another one of these as a buffing station. I also have a bigger Raycon I could put in here as well. But fortunately, I'm kind of running out of space in here. Granted, I've got a table that's like a full sheet of plywood. That could go. That would give us a little bit more room. Mucho better. Alright, we'll do another 7. So when we're done with this one, we're gonna go for a walk over and check the 3D printers out. I'll try my best to be steady. But every time I move around, I feel like when David Letterman used to strap a camera to a chimp. And then they had a video feed from the chimp's perspective of him running all over the place. So this is Coco Bolo with maple. It's curly, but it's not curly enough. So I'm just going to call that maple. It's pretty. All right, let's check out the printer. Alright, Poe's looking nice. His name is Po Peng. Over here is Panda Express, because they're bamboo printers. Looks pretty good. And then my A1 Mini's not running now, but his name is Long Duck Dong. So yeah, this is what we're printing. We're printing these 26-inch dragons out of dichromatic filament. So I got 2 of these racks last week at a rummage sale for $10 each. Alright, let me get the camera in and then I'll see what you wrote. Hang on. Yeah, so, you know, I would form a shaft kind of like on the, like what I'm making here, right? And then I would cut it out. It would be cut out of square stock, so I have a flat bottom to it. So I chuck it up in the 4-jaw chuck, shape it down, and then when I would take it out of the chuck, I would come in with a scroll saw and cut out the basic shape. And then I would use files. And I would shape it that way. I'd file it down to get into the crochet hook shape. And then I would put some paste wax on them and then take the, you know, wipe it down. And you know, to get the right size, I went out and got some metric wrenches. So you could use you know, the metric size to go through. Then you don't have to sit there and guess and use a gauge and all that garbage. Not a problem. And the worst part is, I think I might only have 1 or 2 left that are laying around here. But yeah, I use a knife grip, so I had kind of like a much bigger handle on them. Oh, about the crochet hooks, why I was talking about how I use square stock. It wasn't necessarily this size, it would be bigger. But the reason I kept it square was not only so I could clamp it back up, but when I went to cut it and shape it on the scroll saw, it wouldn't roll because I would leave the squares on the ends. I suppose you could keep the square on this end too. And then when you chuck it up, you can make the tip on it. Remind me never to make that hand gesture again. I feel bad enough about putting the wax on. Hello. How is Jesus tonight? There's another 8-inch shad. So we're gonna go with this one. It says narwhals in it. Oh, I'm doing all right. I had no plans on streaming today, but other than that, I'm doing good. I was doing so good. I was at home. I'm not coming to work. I came to work this morning. I walked here. It's about a 15-minute walk. Stayed here till about noon and then walked home. I'm like, I'll take half the day off. So we watched all the Deadpool movies. Well, 3 of them. We didn't watch the Fred Savage one. But anyway. So I noticed one of the 3D printers was messed up. So I came in and fixed that. Now I'm waiting around for an hour to make sure the printer's working. So here we are. Hey, thank you much. How's Alex doing tonight? Yep, we're just turning blanks. Making shafts. So this is my day job. I've been making these full-time for the last 11 years. This is my 11th year. I make a bunch of different shapes, but I tend to live stream this production because it's nice having the camera right there. It's not bad work. Hello, PK. How you doing? So we're turning hard maple tonight. Good morning. So where are you at in the world? I'm in America. I'm in Wisconsin, so it's like 8. It's like a little after 8. It's 8:20. There you go. Hey Jim, how's it going? Welcome in Virginia. Hey Jerry. So yeah, tonight we're turning drop spindle shafts. I know I do stream this quite a bit, but it's a good example of production turning. Plus I have to make them, so. Okay, so you're in India. Very cool. Alright, Lee's in England. Anton! Hey, how's it going? Yeah, I'm in America. So I'm in Wisconsin. My tools are from England. Does that count? Yeah, these are Robert Swarby's. They're made in Sheffield. Am I Indian? No, I'm not. I'm an American. My ancestry, I'm Dutch. Actually, I did my ancestry, and I'm a European mutt pretty much, but my parents' names were Dutch and German. been better. So I think we'll walk through the next one. What we're doing. Got another narwhal here, but I forgot to take off the tape, the pattern, so let's get it off here. Hey, I appreciate it, PK. So the next course of business will be the arms are going to be sanded next and balanced, and then I put an oil-based finish on these. On the shaft itself, the bottom will be sanded out and it'll be waxed. So. All right, so we're starting out with hard maple. I got a 4-jaw chuck, so I'm squeezing it on 4 sides. I'm eyeballing the center and I'm locking down the chuck. I'm locking down my tailstock. I'm going to start it up and then I'm going to put the tailstock in when it's running. Alright, so I buy these oversized, so now we're going to machine them down to size. The reason for that is so you can true them up, because these come off a machine and they're not perfectly straight. So I'm using my roughing gouge just to take off just a little bit. Using a wrench as a caliper, slipping it over. It slides over, so we're good. Now I'm shooting at making an 8-inch shaft, so my taper has to end right there. So we're bringing the diameter down with the roughing gouge. We're getting close. We're going to switch over to the spindle gouge. Check the diameter. So now I'm going to shut it off. While it's still spinning, I'm going to back the tailstock off to see how it's running. And it's running nice and true. So I'm going to shut it off. This is my test whirl. I'm just going to slide this in until it locks. You can see I'm moving the whole chuck. So I'm moving the chuck, the shaft, the belt, and the motor. So we got good contact there. Take my story stick, transfer the lines over. Starting the lathe back up. This is my beading tool. So like a V shape, and you just push it in. Then I'll answer your question in a minute. I'm going to come up to the front with my skew. I'm going to mark where the top of the finial is, where the bottom of the finial is. Switch back to my gouge, blend those two lines together, and then burn lines in here. So the question is, how much do I get paid for this work? Well, I am self-employed, so it depends on how many I sell. And me and my girlfriend both run the business, so it's just not paying myself, it's paying her as well. So it all depends on the market and how things are going. I could pay my bills, so, and I'm clearly not starving, so I think we're doing all right. But, you know, I've been doing this for, this is our 11th year, so my business has built a name for itself, so. It isn't one of those things where I'm going to quit my day job and start doing this because I'm going to make a livable wage. That's just not going to happen. And for me, it's 8:30 at night. Normally I wouldn't be working this late, but if I'm feeling productive, I might as well get as much done as I can, right? Yeah, I can do that. It's not going to be tonight. You know, that wouldn't be a bad video to make either. Not a problem. Hell, and then I can even, you know, make a granny square. You've never been to America? You really want to see it? Did you show it in a live video somewhere? Not much to look at. I could show you what's outside. You've been using a Dremel to shape yours? That'll work. Ooh, that would give me an excuse to. I got a new toy. Look at that bad boy. So that's a Fordham. My son saw that I was with a Dremel, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I've got a rotary tool you can have." I bought it, but then I never used it. I'm like, okay. I didn't realize it was going to be that one. I'm not complaining. It's nice. You have two Harbor Freight tools like that? Cool. Yeah, the Fordhams are very industrial. Lots of jewelry shops have them. Ooh, that one is not good. Yeah, my Dremel that I have it on a plunge router base, and I use it to drill holes on big scroll saw projects. We're gonna make this one into a 7-inch. Okay. Yeah, I haven't had a lot of time to play with it. I've been kind of busy. My grandfather... Oh, the Seiko scroller scroll? Yeah, that would be nice. It's much smaller. Yeah, I really don't do a lot of huge scroll saw projects anymore. If I made one, it would either be for the business or it would be for like a video, you know? Or maybe I should make one with my business name for a video. But yeah, I tend to make smaller things. So I actually made a downdraft table. Let me clear it off. I like making small storage. So, somebody threw away this desk, so I found this desk on the side of the road. So I cut out a hole to inset a 4-inch exhaust pipe to it. So now I got a downdraft table, so I'm not getting so much dust in the face. So all I gotta do is take the drawer to the front and then hook up the hose. Have I ever watched Charles Deering's video on YouTube? I probably have seen a couple. I know he makes a lot of very complicated patterns. So I assume it's some pretty insane stuff. Yeah, most of the patterns I make for videos are for beginner or intermediate. So I try to make them as simple as possible. Oh, that's crazy. That guy must have 4 arms of steel. I'm guessing spiral blade. And a big damn horse. waters and a bunch of horses that water. Nice. Alright, we're gonna go for another like 15 minutes. I don't think my upstairs neighbors are here, but technically I can go till 10, but I'm not gonna push it. No one has T-Rexes on. Oh yeah. Sorry, zoning a little bit. I think I'm gonna have to shut the music off. It's very dangerous. I'm listening to 90s alternative and grunge. There we go. I shut it off. That will lower my chances of accidentally singing. So I'm making drop spindles. This type of turning is called spindle turning. So a baseball bat is a spindle turned object, a pen, a magic wand, that sort of thing. The grain direction is running this way. So it's like the log. If the tree was standing up, the roots would be here. It'd be growing up. We're bull turning, you're turning it. Opposite direction. Sideways. So, yeah, like spindles for banisters. For stairways. Spindles for the back of chairs. All kind of made the same way. Last cutout we have another sheep. It appears I have run out of things to say. Stay in school, kids, otherwise you might end up having to do this. Another 7. Yeah, so tomorrow is Monday. that's a packaging day for us. So most of my morning will be putting stuff in boxes, which isn't so bad. We ship Mondays and Thursdays. And then, when the holidays come around, it turns into every day. Turn some lace bobbins, but you weren't able to find any information on turning them. Yeah, it'd probably just be, finding an example that you like or, and then trying to duplicate it. If it's something modern, tweak it a little bit. I made a few tapestry bobbins for people, but it's never something I really made a bunch of. Yeah, I just got super hyper focused on spindles. Find something that looks really simple. And then realize there is a lot to them. Yeah, I don't mind this. This is, it's not that much. I've made, tens and tens of thousands of these. It's taken me, 10 years to do it. And like my whole setup here is kind of designed around making these, as far as where the tool placement is. I'll mix it up once in a while. Now I'm going to put the wax on at the end instead of, twice. We'll do one more. I'll show you what I mean by putting all my stuff in the same place. So when you're doing production work, you want to be efficient. So if we look over here, let me... My roughing gouge lives here, then my spindle gouge, then my skew, then my bead tool, and then we don't use these. These are the 4 that we use. They always stay in that order. My pencil on a magnet, so I know where it is all the time. Come over to the bed here, my medium, my fine grit sandpaper, my story stick. So there's the wire burning tool. There's wrench number 1 that we use for a caliper. Come up to the top and there's wrench number 2. So my wax now is living up here. It might not matter to you. But it saves time. Alright, so now I know where my wrench is, and I know where my gouge is. It's usually 3 passes. That's good. 8-inch shaft comes in here. Getting close. So we're going to switch from our roughing gouge to our spindle gouge. Come up, grab my other wrench. I do my 1 fan just on. It's really just for here, but I'm in the neighborhood, so I do the whole thing. And I'm going to back up the tailstock with it running, shut it off. We're running at 3,600 RPMs. It looked like it was standing still, so we know we're straight. Mark out the dimensions here. I'm going to grab my beading tool, put in my 3 beads, put that back. When I'm putting that back, I'm reaching for my wire to burn. When I'm putting that back, I'm reaching over for my skew. And sanding. Alright, then we're going to grab some wood chips, turn the speed back up, burnish the surface, wax, skew, finial, sand, sand, burnish, wax, skew. There we go. And for the last one, we have Red Heart with Verawood in the middle. There we go. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. Thank you for all the likes. Hopefully I've got some follows in there. And yeah. Hopefully I'll get a video made next weekend, and we'll go from there. So thanks so much for hanging out with me, and we'll catch you next time.